Love after 60. Do this once, and he will cry for you, all night, without even knowing why. Have you ever made an older man cry for you, not from pain, not from loss, but simply because he can't stop thinking about you? Not because you begged for his attention or tried to prove your worth, but because something in your presence touched a place inside him he didn't even know existed. Men after 60 receive attention every day, compliments, texts, admiration, but what they rarely feel is being truly seen, and that is what haunts them long after you've gone. Real feminine power lies not in beauty or effort, but in emotional resonance, the kind of energy that lingers when you've said nothing, yet he still can't sleep. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In this video, I'm going to reveal 4 powerful lessons about the psychology of emotional resonance, how a woman's energy, more than her appearance or words, leaves an unforgettable mark on a man's soul. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights about love, attraction, and emotional wisdom after 60. Now, stay with me because what you're about to learn will change the way you see yourself and the way men see you. It all begins with one quiet truth about attraction. 1. Desire lives in tension, not touch. Here's one most women miss entirely. A man doesn't fall for touch. He falls for the space before the touch. He falls for the pause, the silence, the moment that trembles on the edge of something but never quite lands. Desire doesn't live in certainty. It lives in anticipation, in the almost, in the breath held just a little too long. When a woman rushes to define things, what are we? Do you like me? Where is this going? She collapses the emotional suspense his mind needs to feel alive. She removes the mystery. And without mystery, there is no longing. There's only logistics. There's only safety. And safety, my dear, is the opposite of desire. Real attraction thrives in uncertainty. Not chaos, not confusion, but that delicious, electric uncertainty where his imagination fills the silence. Where he wonders, what is she thinking? Does she feel this too? What would happen if I? That space, that pause, is where longing is born. And when you let the moment breathe, when you don't rush to answer every question or fill every silence, you become unforgettable. Because you're not giving him information, you're giving him an experience. Think of it like this. Tension is the violin string of desire. Too tight and it snaps. Too loose and it falls silent. But when you find that perfect balance, when you hold the moment just long enough, the sound it makes is haunting. It resonates, it stays, and he will carry that sound with him long after you're gone. This is the psychology of emotional connection after 60. You're no longer trying to impress. You're no longer performing. You've learned the art of presence. You know how to let a moment live. You know how to create space. And that space, that pause, is where his heart begins to race. So ask yourself, have you ever noticed how the most magnetic moments are the ones that tell most happened? The conversation that stopped mid-sentence. The look that lasted just a heartbeat too long. The hand that reached but didn't quite touch. Those are the moments that live in a man's mind forever. Not because of what happened, but because of what could have happened. That's the power of tension. That's the power of the pause. And once you understand this, you unlock something even deeper. 2. Capture his mind, not just his body. To truly live in a man's thoughts, you must touch his imagination, not just his skin. This is where most women lose their power. They focus on what they say, how they look, what they do, but they forget the most important thing, the way they make him feel when he closes his eyes and remembers them. Instead of speaking in logic, speak in imagery. Instead of facts, give him scenes. Instead of explanations, give him sensations. Don't say, "I miss you." Say, "If you were here right now, I'd probably be causing trouble." Do you see the difference? The first is a statement. The second is a story. The second creates a picture in his mind. It activates his senses. It makes him wonder, smile, imagine. You're not just sending a message. You're creating a memory before it even happens. You're engaging the storyteller inside his mind. And when you do that, you bypass logic entirely. You go straight to emotion, straight to desire, straight to the place where attraction is born. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, understood this deeply. He said, "The unconscious speaks in symbols. When you speak in images, when you communicate through feeling rather than fact, you enter the realm of his unconscious mind. You become a symbol. You become an archetype. You become the woman he can't explain but can't stop thinking about." Let me tell you a story. Years ago, my wife and I had been together for some time, and like many couples, we'd fallen into routine. Conversations became predictable. Connection felt comfortable, but not electric. One evening, instead of saying, "I love you," words I'd said 1,000 times, she simply looked at me, smiled, and said, "You still make my heart do dangerous things." That's it, nothing more. But in that moment, I felt like I was 20 years old again. I felt seen, desired, alive. She didn't explain. She didn't define. She gave me a feeling wrapped in an image, and I've never forgotten it. That's the power of symbolic communication. That's the power of speaking to his soul, not just his ears. And after 60, you have the wisdom to do this naturally. You've lived through enough to know that connection isn't built on words alone. It's built on resonance. It's built on energy. It's built on the way you make him feel when you're not even trying. We seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own. For we think in terms of languages and images, which we did not invent, but which were given to us by our society. In other words, the way you speak, the images you create, the energy you carry, these things shape his inner world. So use them wisely. Use them beautifully. Use them to awaken something in him that no one else has ever reached. What's a moment when your words or presence changed the way someone felt without you even trying? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to read your story. And once you awaken his imagination, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. 3. Stillness is the strongest seduction. In a world obsessed with attention, stillness is rebellion. Most women, especially in the dating world after 60, feel pressure to perform, to talk more, prove more, show more. They think that if they're not constantly engaging, they'll be forgotten. But the opposite is true. The woman who knows how to be still, who knows how to let silence settle, who doesn't rush to fill every gap, she is the one who becomes unforgettable. Stillness isn't coldness. It's not indifference. It's composure. It's confidence. It says, "I'm not here to chase. I'm here to be experienced." And that kind of energy, calm, grounded, self-assured, is magnetic. Because most people are noise. Most people are effort. But you are presence. You are depth. And that depth is what men remember. Think about it. What haunts a man after a good conversation? Not the words you said. It's the silence after you smiled. It's the pause before you answered. It's the unspoken energy when you left the room. That's what lives in his mind. That's what keeps him reaching for his phone at midnight, wondering if you're awake too. Stillness is not about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to forget. It's about trusting that your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. And after 60, you've earned this stillness. You've lived through the noise. You've survived the chaos. You no longer need to prove anything. You simply are. And that is the most seductive thing in the world. The poet Mary Oliver once asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" After 60, the answer is simple. Live it fully. Live it quietly. Live it powerfully. Not by chasing, but by being so rooted in yourself that others can't help but be drawn to you. Let me share something personal. I have a close friend, a woman I've known for over 20 years. She's now in her mid-60 seconds. Elegant, wise, and magnetic in a way that's hard to describe. A few years ago, she started dating again after being widowed, and I watched something fascinating happen. She didn't flirt aggressively. She didn't talk about herself endlessly. She simply showed up calm, present, listening more than speaking, and every man she met became captivated, not because she did anything, but because she was something. She was still water, and still water reflects everything. That's the power of stillness. That's the power of emotional intelligence in love. That's the power you already have. If this lesson resonates with you, save this video. Come back to it when you need a reminder of your own power. Come back to it when the world tries to convince you that you need to be louder, faster, more. Because the truth is, you don't. You just need to be still. And in that stillness, everything you desire will find you. And when you master stillness, you unlock the most haunting power of all, the pull of almost. 4. The pull of almost. The most unforgettable desire is incomplete. The kiss that almost happened, the confession that stopped halfway, the moment that trembled on the edge of forever, but never quite fell. Closure kills imagination. Mystery keeps him awake. And the most powerful form of mystery is the story that never got its ending. When you leave emotional space, when you don't answer every question, don't define every feeling, don't rush to resolution, you activate his mind. He starts replaying. He starts rewriting. He starts remembering. And in that process, he becomes addicted, not to your presence, but to your absence that still vibrates in him, to the version of you that lives in his thoughts, more vivid than reality itself. This is not manipulation. This is art. This is the psychology of emotional attraction. Because the truth is, human beings are wired to complete unfinished stories. It's called the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological principle that says we remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. So when you leave a man with an emotional cliffhanger, when you let a moment linger without resolution, you become the story his mind can't stop trying to finish. Think about the last time someone left you hanging. Not cruelly, not coldly, but beautifully. A conversation that ended too soon. A moment that felt like it had more to say. Didn't you think about it for hours? Days? Didn't you replay it, wondering what might have happened if it had continued? That's the pull of almost. That's the power of emotional depth without explanation. After 60, you understand that not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be defined. Some of the most beautiful moments in life are the ones that live in the space between. And when you give a man that space, when you let him wonder, when you let him feel, you become unforgettable. The writer Anais Nin once said, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." In other words, what a man remembers about you is not just who you were, it's who you made him feel like he could be. It's the version of himself he saw reflected in your eyes. And when you leave him in the space of almost, that reflection becomes eternal. It becomes the standard by which he measures every other woman. It becomes the memory he carries forever. So share this video with a friend. Share it with the women in your life who need to hear this. Because this isn't just about romance. This is about reclaiming your power. This is about understanding that after 60, you are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are a force. And when you move through the world with this kind of presence, this kind of energy, this kind of quiet, haunting power, you become the woman men cry for in the middle of the night, without even knowing why. If you've made it this far, you now understand something most women will never realize. Real feminine power after 60 has nothing to do with trying harder or proving more. It lives in emotional resonance, in presence, in the ability to touch a man's soul without even trying. It lives in tension, in stillness, in the haunting pull of moments left unfinished. It lives in you, not in what you do, but in who you are, when you stop performing and simply exist. This isn't about being young or beautiful. It's about presence, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are. A woman who no longer chases approval, draws people in without trying. When she lives in that truth, men don't just see her, they feel her, and that feeling stays. In the words of the poet Rainer Maria Rilke, perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage. After 60, you are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are the one who chooses. And when you move through the world with that kind of power, you don't just attract love, you become it. Have you been the woman who understood her power, or are you just now beginning to see it? Share your story in the comments. Your wisdom might be the light that helps someone else step into their own power. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more insights on attraction after 60, emotional intelligence, relationship dynamics, and the psychology of connection. I'm building a community here, one that values depth, awareness, and the quiet wisdom that comes with age. A community of women who know that they are not fading, they are becoming, they are rising. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in my next video.